Zelensky can't cut off Russia's defense arm despite Western help, as Moscow keeps its fighter production moving. Russian Su-35S multiplies in numbers. So why is Ukraine struggling to stop Moscow's growing fighter fleet? Zelensky claims at least 7 Su-35S lost, but Putin keeps churning out fighters and replacing battlefield losses. Can Ukraine's air defenses face Russia's growing and deadly fighter fleet, as Moscow continues expanding its aerial firepower? Russia continued to boost its air superiority fighter fleet as the war with Ukraine rages on, despite sustained battlefield losses. Since the war began in 2022, Russia added up to 48 Su-35S fighter jets to its arsenal, according to 1945. The Su-35S is Russia's most advanced flanker variant and remains a key fourth-generation fighter jet in Moscow's combat fleet. Russia used Su-35S fighters for air superiority missions and strikes throughout the Ukraine war, putting them at the center of its air campaign. The Su-35S combines modern avionics with thrust vectoring engines, giving the fighter high maneuverability and enhanced combat performance. Russia claimed its Su-35S fighters have scored air-to-air kills against Ukrainian aircraft during the war, though such claims remain contested. Moscow also allegedly used Su-35S fighters to launch Kh-59 and Kh-69 cruise missiles at Ukraine from positions near the front lines. Unverified claims have also alleged that a Su-35S entered Ukrainian airspace to launch a cruise missile, highlighting the fighter's reported strike role. But Ukraine claimed at least 7 Su-35S fighters had been destroyed since February 2022, according to Kiev's battlefield assessments. The latest claimed Su-35S loss came in July 2026, with Ukraine alleging the fighter was downed by either a Patriot system or an F-16 jet. Even if all 7 claimed losses are counted, Russia has received far more new Su-35S fighters, potentially offsetting its reported battlefield attrition. Russian defense firm Rostec announced 16 separate Su-35S deliveries to its air force since 2022, according to the cited report. Each Rostec delivery reportedly included 2 or 3 fighters, putting Russia's total receipts at between 32 and 48 aircraft, according to 1945. Footage from Russia has provided the first look at a newly completed production batch of Su-34 strike fighters, highlighting continued expansion of the country's frontline combat aviation force. The latest batch of Su-34 aircraft is expected to enter service with Russia's aerospace forces in September, adding more strike platforms to the operational fleet. Russia has accelerated deliveries of the Su-34, with production orders rising sharply since the beginning of the Ukraine war. Rostec said in April 2025 that Su-34 production had more than doubled over 2 years, reflecting Moscow's growing demand for frontline strike aircraft. Moscow is rebuilding its strike fleet after Su-34 fighters suffered heavy losses during the early stages of the conflict. Su-34s have become central to Russian airstrike operations, particularly in glide bomb missions conducted against Ukrainian positions. The Russian jets can strike targets from hundreds of kilometers away using improved standoff weapons and guided munitions. New Su-34 upgrades are designed to make Russian airstrikes more accurate, more powerful and more effective against battlefield targets. Defense analysts now describe the Su-34 as the backbone of Russia's frontline airstrike power during the continuing Ukraine war. The expanding Su-34 production program signals Moscow's long-term commitment to heavy strike aircraft and sustained combat operations. Ukraine appears to be slowly losing the war, ousted Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov told Reuters, though he said the country still has a chance to win. Mikhailo Fedorov made the remarks in an interview with Reuters after his removal as defense minister in July, only 6 months after his appointment. Fedorov says Kiev has only several months to take the decisions needed to change the course of the war. The former minister says Ukraine lacks a coherent overall plan to win and urgently needs a strategy to bring the war to an end. Fedorov blamed corruption, patronage networks, and a failure to innovate for weakening Ukraine's war effort. He has previously said attempts to reform defense procurement met resistance from powerful officials. Fedorov says Ukraine's state apparatus is operating at just 5% effectiveness, pointing to widespread inefficiency and untapped capacity. Fedorov has also called for wartime elections, mounting a major internal political challenge to Zelensky. Ukrainian law currently prohibits elections under martial law, and polling has shown limited public appetite for a vote while the fighting continues. Mikhailo Fedorov said, and I quote, "I think that there's now a turning point which will determine our future trajectory, but it looks as though we're gradually, slowly losing. Technologies exist already which could completely stop the Russians, but our absence of vision means we do not apply them. By the end of the year, the budget deficit under our planning was around $5 billion, and we knew where we would get it. Perhaps the plan changed and new projects emerged that require such a budget." Unquote. Ukraine's FP-5 Flamingo missile may not be as invincible as touted by Volodymyr Zelensky, with Russia claiming a fresh interception. A Ukrainian FP-5 Flamingo missile flying over Kursk was allegedly shot down by Russian air defenses, according to Russian reports. The interception allegedly took place during a Ukrainian missile and drone attack on August 23, as Russian forces responded to the incoming strikes. Kursk Governor Alexander Kinstein said the Flamingo missile flew below 50 meters, according to RT, making detection more challenging. The Bars-Kursk Mobile Air Defense Unit reportedly detected the missile traveling at around 500 kilometers per hour. Russian volunteers then reportedly opened fire with a machine gun at the Ukrainian missile, attempting to bring down the incoming projectile. The projectile reportedly lost altitude after being hit and crashed into a wooded area, according to an RT report. A video showing the alleged missile interception was released by Bars-Kursk soldiers, RT claimed, offering a rare glimpse of the incident. A second part of the footage reportedly shows soldiers examining the wreckage at the crash site after the missile came down. Russian forces claimed they recovered mission data from the missile's wreckage, potentially revealing details about its intended target. Russia further claimed the recovered wreckage showed the Ukrainian missile was aimed at a key facility in Tula, though the allegation remains unverified. Russian officials allegedly said the missile carried a warhead equivalent to 1 ton of explosives, highlighting the claimed destructive potential. Ukraine unveiled the FP-5 Flamingo in 2025 and presented it as a key long-range strike weapon, adding to Kyiv's growing missile arsenal.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.